So this is the story of Jamie Freel and the fairies. Okay, so Jamie Freel is like in this European English village, and he hears like every year everyone's all freaked out on Halloween because there's like one haunted castle, and every night there's like all these sorts of weird crap coming out of it, like lights and scary noises, and everyone's like, "What the hell? Stay away from that place. That place is creepy. There are fairies in it." They're evil ones. Not the nice flower ones. They're evil fairies. Evil. We can tell because their voices sound scary. And, so no one goes near it. And, of course, Jamie Freel, he's like a 17-year-old teenager. I am invincible. So he goes up, and he's like, I ain't afraid of no castle. Okay, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Sorry for that. So he goes up, and he's like, goes in, and all these, fairies are sitting there. And somehow they all inexplicably know his name, because they're fairies. And they're like, Jamie Freel, welcome. We're going to go kidnap a girl tonight. Want to come? And he's like, sure. Which seems like a weird thing to do. We're going to kidnap, well, not for the fairies. Fairies do this stuff all the time. But he just goes along with it like, sure, I'll kidnap a lady. Sounds like fun. That's what I do every Halloween. So he goes out, and he's flying on this magical fairy horse. And they're flying through the air, and somehow no one thinks this is weird or odd. They're just doing it. And, flying through the air. And they find this girl, and she's really, really pretty. And Jamie Freel, like, instantly falls in love at the sight of her looks, which is a really shallow way to fall in love. But still, falls in love. And they're kidnapping this girl, and they leave, like, a stick in her place that, like, is in her exact shape and size, so it looks exactly like her, and it's painted or something, because it otherwise wouldn't look really like her. But it doesn't, like, respond or do anything. So it just looks like she's in a coma or dead or whatever. So then he's like, they get out of there, and he's like, hey. And they're all, like, taking turns carrying the girl because she's heavy. I mean, she's a girl. She's, like, a full-size girl, and they're, like, babies. They're, like, fairies. And he's like, hey, can I hold her? And they're like, sure, dude. Sure, Jamie. And so he takes her. And then he, like, leaps, does, like, flying leap up. Flying leap up a flying horse. It does not sound like a good thing to do when you're, like, in the air, but he did. Flying, leaps off the magical horse and lands on the ground because apparently they're, like, flying really, really, really close to the ground. Lands on the ground, like, just starts taking off the lady. He doesn't want the fairies to come and, like, bewitch him and take her girl back. Because he really likes this girl now. So they're running, the fairies can't catch him, and then he, like, gets out of their, like, realm of influence, I guess. I think Halloween's the only night they can, like, come out of the house. So, daylight comes, and they're back in the mansion, they're like, shit, Jamie, stupid Jamie. But when when daylight's about to break, the very last moment, they know they're too far away, but one in the front says, I'll make sure he doesn't get any enjoyment out of her. And she casts a spell, I have a spell motion, casts a spell on the girl and makes her deaf and dumb, which sucks for girl, sorry. And so, they go home, and he's like, look at the lady, and the lady's like, because, yeah. And she starts, like, crying and stuff, and it's really, really sad. And then a year later on Halloween, Jamie, like, kind of sneaks back up to the castle. He sneaks back up to the house. Hopefully he's thinking maybe these fairies can, like, help me out or something. Even though I still feel in the first place, he was doing whatever. He sneaks back out of the house. And then one of the fairies is really stupid. Just really stupid. She's got this little glass in her hand, little goblet thing, and she's got, little clear liquid, and she's like, hey, remember last Halloween, that stupid dumbass Jamie Freel stole our lady from us? And then he's like, but at least don't get any enjoyment out of her. She's deaf and dumb. Which seems a little bit weird, but anyways, and she's like, but, you know what he doesn't know? Like, 3 drops from this right here, and she'd be, like, cured. Yeah, I know. So, of course, Jamie comes in that moment, and they don't think, like, anything of it, that he came in at that right exact moment after they revealed how, yeah, fairy tales can be weird sometimes. And they're like, hey, Jamie, welcome! Probably trying to, like, bewitch him later. Come,
okay, welcome.
Have a drink. And he comes on, and it's, like, the same cup that could heal her, and he's like, ooh, I see an opportunity. So he goes up. So I'm whacking my sister with my little wavy thingy. So he goes up and he's like, yeah, I'll have a drink. And he grabs the goblet, runs home, gives her 3 drops, and she comes and she's like, I can speak and I can hear myself speaking. thank goodness, yes. And so they're like, wait a second, like your families think you're dead this whole time, and of course they're not gonna believe you. They'll show up like a deaf and dumb girl, and they're like, our daughter's not deaf and dumb, you stupid dude. And they show up and they go to get the girl back with her family now that they'll actually believe her, hopefully. And they're like, no, she's been dead for a year. And she's like, no, look closely. And then Jamie Freel kind of explains the whole thing to them, and they look really closely and they're like, oh, it is you! Oh my gosh! And then Jamie Freel and the young lady get married and they'll be happily ever after. The end.